I'm Hnin, one of the Sayadaw's disciples who has been practicing meditation under Sayadaw's guidance. Actually, Sayadaw's boundless compassion for all goes beyond description. I'm translating this guided insight meditation talk by Sayadaw on his 41st birthday, since I would like to express my deepest gratitude and sincere appreciation to Sayadaw for his incredible guidance and support to me in practicing meditation regardless of situation. I use plain language in order to help the readers to follow the teaching of Sayadaw as closely as possible. I hold myself responsible for any misinterpretation of the discourse if it should occur. I'm going to read this Dhamma talk on behalf of Sayadaw. Guided Insight Meditation Talk by Tsunami Sayadaw Ottamasara at Tanlin Pagoda Hill Natural Meditation Center. Natural Meditation Center, Tanlin Township, near Tower University, Shango, Myanmar, 955622-707, 95950-85212. Email mtsm45@gmail.com. Sayadaw's 41st birthday present. 23rd October 2010. Relax the whole body. Just close your eyes. Meditation is just to meditate only. To be able to practice meditation only, the meditators have to abandon in paying attention to the action or some actions of how to do, what to do, whatever actions that can be understood or that can be done. It is not the real meditation or practicing only if you pay attention to the idea of the meditation time, such as how long to sit or sit as long as one can. It is not the real meditation or practicing only if you pay attention to the meditation method, such as practice one method or hearsay methods, and practice many methods that have been heard as much as one can. It is not the real meditation or practicing only if you pay attention to the place, such as practice at home or at the meditation center. It is not the real meditation or practicing only if you pay attention to the being of individual or someone. For example, what kind of yogi, the idea of regarding oneself as a teacher or as a follower, and meditating as one thinks. Without paying attention to the meditation methods, time and place, just practicing only makes the real Vipassana wisdom. To become like this, it is necessary to meditate only with the idea that the meditation itself cannot be grasped. Meditation method and time is not the main importance. For example, the attitude to, no matter how long it takes, is taking the time as reality or importance. The attitude to, whatever happens, is also taking some happening or what is happening as reality or importance. And the idea of meditating all methods that have been heard is also taking the created or assigning methods that we understand as important. Not to stop the actions and methods of meditation that we used, but just to use them only. Being paid attention to these does not make the meditation free or meditation only. Time and place have to be used in meditation. Meditation can be practiced here and there. It does not mean to stop doing some actions. However, being paid attention to the place, time, situation and method makes the meditation not free or practice only. Meditation methods, time, place and life are just to use only without grasping. If one can use them without grasping, which means just to be using only, the original truth, the original citta, cittatika, and rupa will appear as dukkha, samudaya, and meghasakha, which lay hidden behind the created truth. The real meditation is to be able to use only, without the idea of grasping and misunderstanding, something, everything, someone, everyone, sometime, life cycle as reality or importance. Practice meditation with the idea of stopping the life cycle or samsara is taking the life cycle or samsara as importance or reality. It is not the real meditation or practicing only. It is not practicing meditation freely. Practice meditation with the idea of being something is not free due to the stress upon or emphasis on something to be happened. Not to stop doing something, neither reject nor accept doing something. It means to pay attention to the right understanding or the right attitude. Just to be free attitude and to use only. To use only means abandoning the idea of paying attention to something, time, place, situation and life by not forgetting the original truth, misunderstanding. Meditation is just to meditate only without paying attention to this life or that life as we usually do, such as the idea of being a better life or a certain life or stopping a life cycle or samsara. Every meditator can meditate with grasping automatically or naturally. Everyone can obey the created law or discipline, traditional or regional customs with grasping as usual. For example, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. The real meditation is not to reject the actions of obeying the created law or discipline, but to abandon the idea of grasping and misunderstanding them as reality. Everyone does the studying with the idea of misunderstanding about education and actions of learning or not as reality. Everyone earns one's living with the idea of misunderstanding about the money and actions of doing or not doing business as reality. The real meditation must be meditate only, doing only, or practicing only. Instead of meditating or doing things with grasping and misunderstanding, the meditators have to abandon the idea of grasping and misunderstanding of the actions as real importance. It will not be free if one practices meditation with the idea of misunderstanding somewhere, everywhere, sometime, every time, the whole life cycle, limited period, limitless period, until that as reality. The attitude that how to practice this way or that way, how to contact like this or like that, doing something or doing nothing, is our programmed habitual practice or attitude. This attitude makes us not free in practice meditation and whatever we do in our daily life. The ability of doing something or doing nothing that everyone understands is the instinctive or inborn ability that everyone has. If you pay attention to it, you cannot go beyond the created or instinctive ability. We always use our bodily, oral, and mental actions individually. Due to taking the created person I as reality and identifying I or you, self or others, man or woman, parents or children, there will be problems about social, gender, and economic endlessly. Lots of social, gender, and economic problems occur endlessly because of the wrong use of I, you, individual, or others as reality. Also, the problems between men and women, parents and children are because of the wrong use of men, women, parents and children as reality or importance. In fact, I, you, men, women, parents and children are just labels or created truths not to think as reality. If we can use these labels without grasping, there will be no more problems. Everything will be okay if there's no grasping or classifying them as reality. This is just to meditate only or meditate freely. This is just to meditate freely and just to use life freely. Need to understand that the real importance is to be a real freedom. The real meditation is intended to emphasize on the real freedom. It will not be free if one uses everything with grasping. The idea of classifying that I or you, mine or yours, right or wrong, good or bad, life or that as reality makes us not free. If the concept of I is being paid attention, or if one makes distinction between I and you, it will not be free. If the concept of that and life is being paid attention, there will be worry about safety of life endlessly. If you use the things with the idea of mine or yours, worry about loss of things, mine to yours, will happen endlessly. The real meditation does not mean to stop the events or happenings of changing mine to yours or yours to mine, but it means to abandon the idea of paying attention to these happenings, grasping and misunderstanding them as reality. The process of changing mine to yours or yours to mine is not the key point. Not to stop this happening. The key point is to abandon the idea of grasping and misunderstanding of this process as real importance, not only in meditation, but also in whatever we do, worldly doing, or habitual daily work. It is important to meditate freely or to be able to do freely. It is difficult to be heard that even the worldly work can be done freely. We will be able to meditate freely with the help of Buddha, who did meditation and provocation freely and who just used his life freely without the idea of grasping, such as my life, your life, teacher's life, student's life, parent's life, children's life, human's life, Deva's life, Brahma's life, and animal's life. Practicing meditation only is the real cause of Vipassana wisdom. This method is not the created Vipassana meditation, but it is a real Vipassana meditation. This is to reveal the cause of becoming the real Vipassana wisdom, not the created Vipassana. Practice, experience, time, place, and hearsay methods in meditation are just to use only, to practice only, and to use freely without the idea of grasping at this happening or that happening. Just to do only, just to be practicing only. Dualities such as pain or pleasure, calmness or agitation, meditating for a long time or for a short time, seem to be real in meditation or in daily life. There will be some happenings such as pain or pleasure, calmness or agitation, meditating for a long time or for a short time while meditating. Whatever happenings are not important. The real meditation is just to use only these dualities without misunderstanding them as reality. This is to be able to do the real abandonment. This is the real renunciation that any parents, any teacher, or any doctor cannot renounce in our worldly life. This type of renunciation has never been heard or practiced in our daily life. Try to use only meditation practice, place, life of yogi and life of teacher without the idea of grasping and misunderstanding them as reality. Meditation practice, life of yogi, life of teacher and places are just to use only without grasping and misunderstanding them as reality. It is hardly been known that This is the real abandonment. One can be done and should be done. In fact, life can be used without misunderstanding as my life or your life. So also are healthy life or unhealthy life, time and place, by not forgetting the original truth, misunderstanding only. Try to be able to use only. The real importance is just to use them without grasping and misunderstanding. There will be competition between competitors in life when life is used with the idea of grasping, such as my method, your method, I'm right, you're right. For example, struggle for food in animals and traffic accidents in overtaking for a place. If one car lets the other pass up, there will be no accident or problem about it. So also, there will be competition or struggle in life if life is used with grasping, such as my life or your life. It does not matter if it is just for using only. The real meditation method is intended to be meditation only, practicing only, and using only. The real meditation method is quite different from the traditional meditation methods with which we are most familiar, such as how to do, how long shall I do, where to do. Original misunderstanding is taking the idea of being something or someone as reality. Understanding upon misunderstanding of being something or someone makes one free from original misunderstanding temporarily. Not forgetting the original misunderstanding makes one free from original misunderstanding temporarily. I do propagation of Buddha's religion or Sasana and teach meditation freely without grasping the life of monk. Just use the monk's life freely. I do not grasp at Dhamma talk as my Dhamma or Buddha's Dhamma. I just address Dhamma without the idea of grasping and misunderstanding them as my Dhamma or Buddha's Dhamma. Just use it freely with no more attachment. So also in using places, it is important to use the places only with no mistake, such as this country or that country for the reality. To be free from grasping and misunderstanding the places as reality is of the real importance. It does not matter teaching Dhamma at hospital or at home or at the meditation center. The real matter is only to have the idea of non-grasping those places as reality or importance. All these places are also just to use only. It is the same in teaching to the Buddhists or non-Buddhists. To be free from grasping and misunderstanding this religion or that religion as reality is of the real importance. Non-grasping means non-grasping to oneself as well as to others. Non-grasping is not only for oneself, but also for others. Using with the concept of non-grasping, we progress towards harmony with everyone. Because of the idea of non-grasping, anyone can be friendly and associated with. One can live anywhere and do anything with the power of non-grasping or non-attachment. This is the ability of the power of abandonment. The power of grasping and misunderstanding is our hereditary or normal habitual one. Paying attention to self or others, or paying attention to being self or being others, makes competitions between each country, each religion, each other, who emphasizing self or others. Winning through competition is not the real win. It is the created win. No more competition, no more win. Wisdom through learning is not the real one. No more learning, no more wisdom. Taking precepts or sila intentionally is not the real precept or sila. If there is no intentional taking, there is no precept. No more taking, no more precept or sila. So is the created kind-hearted mind is not the real one. So is the created abandonment is not the real alobha or greedlessness. So is the created patience is not the real adosa or hatelessness, and real metta, loving kindness. No more compassion, no more metta. When created patience cannot be done, violence appears. No more tolerance, no more patience. Have to abandon the idea of assuming this, that, something, everything, someone, everyone, sometime, every time, somewhere, everywhere, endless life cycle and endless universe as truth by not forgetting the original truth, misunderstanding only. It does not mean to reject the place, but just to use it freely, not to reject the life cycle or samsara, whether it is a second or a life or a life cycle, all are to use only without grasping and misunderstanding as real importance. It does not mean to stop the life cycle or samsara with the idea of grasping and misunderstanding it as reality. It means to abandon the idea of grasping it as reality. The life cycle or samsara is also just to use only. Parami or perfection is also to use only. So is the cycle of rebirth or samsara. Not to cling to the continuation of samsara with the concept of taking it as reality. Not to grasp annihilation of samsara or osida deity with the idea of taking it as reality. It is just to use only. Life cycle or samsara is neither for rejecting nor grasping, and also not for taking it as reality. To use only means using life in that I or you, man or woman, parents or children, whatever religion and whatever race, without the idea of taking them as reality. Whatever nationality, race, yogi, man or woman, parents or children will be, it is not important not to stop being someone or being something. The real meditation does not concern with them. They are the created truths, or they are just labels, and they are just to use only. Created truth is not to reject, not to accept, and not to take as reality. Created truth is neither for rejecting nor grasping, also not for taking it as reality. So, there is nothing to talk or criticize about the created truths such as social welfare, politics, and even about the meditation center. Created truths such as life, place, human's life, Deva's life, and Brahma's life, all are to use only without grasping and misunderstanding. Therefore, nothing to talk or criticize about them. Try to use only them which are just for using only. It does not mean using with usefulness or using with uselessness that we understand. To use only means using in the right way. It means not to compare like that. This life is better, or that life is better, I'm better, or you're better, and my religion or your religion. Comparing one's life with others leads to the problems. It will be wrong once you pay attention to or once you grasp the idea of being something or someone. It will be a big mistake as soon as the idea of being something or being someone is paid attention to or grasped. It is not wrong about something or someone, but it is the original wrong. It is wrong because we use something or someone which is just for using only with grasping and misunderstanding. Using something or someone with grasping and misunderstanding as if it is real is wrong. It is not just an ordinary wrong. It is the original mistake which seems to be not wrong or which deceives us to be right, pointing out the big mistake that one can hardly be noticed or known as wrong. Good deed is also to use only or to do only. It is not to use or not to do with grasping, such as this good deed or that good deed, my good deed or your good deed. Because of not knowing how to use it in the right way, we are using it in the wrong way. The good deed is misused by not knowing how to use it in the right way. Using in the right way, which means using only, will lead to the real enlightenment. Understanding how to use it rightly or using only is the cause of the real enlightenment. Not understanding how to use it in the right way makes attachment on someone or something. One cannot help doing something with grasping. So also, even in doing good deeds such as dana, generosity, sila, morality, and bhavana, meditation. For example, one cannot stop offering things with grasping on dana, and one cannot stop taking precepts or sila with grasping on sila. In spite of doing good deed and meditation, doing with grasping on it or attaching to it is not right. The real meditation is just to do good deed, or the real meditation is just to do good deed, which means doing only without grasping, misunderstanding, and taking it as reality. Life is just to use only. Therefore, nothing to talk about the real importance of it. Talking or not is not of the real importance. Talking will be no problem if one has the ability to talk with no grasping and misunderstanding. Buddha also talked about what he did in which life, or what happened in this life or that life, but no grasping or attachment to that talking, just talking only. Buddha just used the words only, without the idea of grasping and misunderstanding of past life, what had happened in that life as reality. Talking or not is not of the real importance. The real importance is whether to be free or not from attachment or grasping upon it and misunderstanding of it. Talking or not is not of the real importance. The real importance is whether to be free or not from attachment or grasping upon it and misunderstanding of it. It is really important to use only the events, happening, situation, era and time with no grasping and misunderstanding. Words or speech are just for using only, not for grasping as this word or that word, and my word or your word. Meditation is just to meditate only, just practicing only, not to pay attention to the actions that everyone can do in habitual ways. Try to be able to do what Buddha wants us to do. The main goal or target is to be able to use only, or to be able to do only, which is just for using only without grasping and misunderstanding. So do the meditation practice and experience. They are also just for using only, practicing only, and experience only. The real meditation method is not to forget the original truth, misunderstanding of body, speech, mind, and whatever concerned with these, such as situation, time and place as reality. I have a lot of experience in doing good deeds, but I do not grasp and misunderstand them as reality. Just experience only, just doing only without grasping, just to be using only, not taking it as reality. Neither reject nor accept it, just doing only the good deed, just to use the word or loga only. So also to use the worldly conditions or vicissitudes, ups and downs only, to achieve the main goal, which is to use only, is not to forget the original truth, creations of misunderstanding. This is the middle way that Buddha has been trodden or discovered. The middle way is not to forget the original truth, misunderstanding of eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind, visual object, sound, odor, gustative object or taste, touching object, tangible object, mental object, consciousness or six sense organs, whatever concerns with them, such as something, someone, somewhere, sometime as reality, which can be known as Samudaya Sakar, the real creator of the mystery or the real culprit. These creations of misunderstanding are ever new impermanent nature, arising and passing away continuously, the real Nesa, the real Dukkha, and the real Anatta. It means not to misunderstand these happenings, such as where you are, what you are doing, whatever happens, how long it takes, whatever feeling well or not, as reality. It means not to forget the original truth, misunderstanding of mind and its creations as reality, the real creator of the mystery or the real culprit. Creations of misunderstanding itself is also ever new impermanent nature. Understanding upon misunderstanding like this is of the real importance. Try not to forget or try to understand only this original truth, misunderstanding, which is ever new impermanent nature, with the help of the teacher. At first, the help of the teacher, who understands well the original truth, is required to understand the original truth. But we must not end up our meditation in the teacher's help. We should not be satisfied with the teacher's help. Try not to forget the original truth, misunderstanding continuously until the Vipassana wisdom or the original right understanding appears. Continuous right understanding leads to the real enlightenment. The more continuous right understanding, the nearer the real enlightenment. Vipassana wisdom and mega wisdom is also included in ever new impermanent nature, which can be known as Seta, Sitatika, and Rupa, the original truth. It is revealing the original truth, not assuming what one thinks as truth, not taking what seems to be true as truth, also not talking with aimlessly, but using talking to point out the original truth by words. Sharing the ability of using time, place, life and every life in the right way, one must not end up in the idea of this life, that life, whatever talking, whatever time or whatever place that everyone understands. We should not be satisfied with those things. It is important not to forget the original truth, misunderstanding that has the ability of using only what is just for to use only without grasping and misunderstanding. Vipassana wisdom means the original wisdom that understands the original truth, Brahmata Saka. To use only means using only which is not for rejecting, accepting and taking it as reality by not forgetting the original truth, misunderstanding only. Teaching is over. This Dhamma talk is translated by Hnin and edited by Sayadaw Ashin and Thock. By Sayadaw Ashin and Thock. By Sayadaw Ashin and Thock. By